One, two, three, four, five. Very nice. It's a very nice. Damn. I lost the high quality video, but that's okay. the pri- the primary value here is audio. Where well, I got an email from somebody saying that University Flake is going to be discontinued and I should stock up. Well, I think it was Mr. Kimba, I believe. Maybe not. Constitutional, welcome. Sad to hear University Flake's going to be discontinued. That's going to be a sad day. I don't know if I want to stock up, to be honest. I mean, I should, but I don't want to prolong the goodbye. It's like if you had a sick pet, do you want to put them down today or stretch it out to like 6 weeks? It's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm talking about. But it's a damn shame. I thought all this Peterson stuff was pretty much a University Flake, except too many people think it's boring. Which again is a damn shame. A damn shame. I wish I could lead a campaign to excite people about University Flake, but it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. Az, exactly. If I loaded up on University Flake, then I'd be hoarding it and thinking, well, I better not smoke it because it's the last I'm ever going to have. It's almost like I'm going to give you an analogy, and I'm sure any man over here, which let's be honest, we're all men on this channel. Um, I saw analytics from YouTube that said I think I had one female viewer in the last 5 years, but although they're very welcome. We've all had that situation where you're debating about whether or not you should revisit like a childhood memory or a vacation in your adulthood because you had great memories, but you're curious if it still looks the same. And if you ever revisit it, 8 times out of 10, maybe not nine, but 8 times out of 10, it's never as good as what your memory told you it was. And that's my fear about stocking up on University Flake. I have good memories. I can remember specifically cities I was in and various nights and with the landscape I was looking at and where I smoked it the first couple times, not every time. And I don't know how it could get better than that. So if I went out and bought a couple tins, the best it could do is match that experience, and it's probably not gonna. So I almost want to just say goodbye to University Flake, wish it well, and hang on to my memories. Mm. Yeah, Mr. Kim, I think that's what you said. It was the Bremen that said that. Al, if it's not going away in the U.S., then we have nothing to fear. I'm halfway through. Oh, I need to pin when I'm smoking again. I'm halfway through my Rimbaud AP, and I'll pin this real quick for those just joining. It's darker. I didn't expect this, guys. I was a little bored by it like 5 minutes ago. I went inside, fixed the audio issue, came back out. The pipe set by itself for like 3 or 4 minutes. It's meatier. It's got more body. No joke. I can actually taste some Virginia now. Much more interesting mid bowl. And I'm to be honest, that rarely happens. Usually for me, for me these days, the charring light or close to the charring light is kind of the cream of the crop, and then usually blends like hang on or slightly degrade toward mid bowl. There's a couple exceptions, but this is strange. This is strange behavior from a relatively cheap tobacco. Very strange, in a good way. I don't know if anybody out there has a Dublin style. It shouldn't really do much to the smoking experience, but I feel that it does. Again, I'm not a physics expert, but the thickness of the bowl, obviously would have an effect on heat dissipation. But other than that, it shouldn't really matter. But I'll be damned if my blends don't taste different. I'm not saying better or worse, but different out of this pipe. I think because of the thickness of the bowl than it does in any of my other more often smoked pipes. I don't know why. I feel like it's more concentrated, or I can focus more on it. But it could be purely psychological. I am glad I have it though. I do like the super heavy, but it is fun. It's a fun pipe to smoke. Also because it just looks fun. I'm not one for the aesthetics of pipes these days. I used to be, but I have to admit, I feel pretty cool smoking this pipe. To be honest, I feel cooler smoking this Dublin from Boswell's. The camera's crap, so it's not going to come out that well. Than I do this much prettier, more expensive Ronaldo. This looks better on the shelf, but this feels better in the hand to smoke, in my opinion. Clean blend, man. Rimbaud AP. I do recommend it for Perique heads out there, especially for the price. I saw earlier today there's going to be a new Halloween movie this Halloween, Halloween Kills, coming out in like a week. I had no idea. Jamie Lee Curtis getting back on the stage. I saw the last Halloween movie in the theater like 5 years ago, 4 years ago when that came out. 2018? 3 years ago, I guess. Mm. Did you buy it, Mr. Kimba? My Cloud, welcome. Man, Cloud, you told an excellent joke. I gave you the temporary moderator status. I do have to take it back, but I'm willing to give it back in the near future. Mr. Kimba has put in a lot of work to earn his wrench, so I do want to give credit to Mr. Kimba to be the only assistant moderator for tonight's chat. Well, AZ, I mean, it's Jamie Lee Curtis. She's getting up there. Bud Rums, you're late to the party, man. Halloween 2018 came out by definition a long time ago. I'm sitting here staring at my sixpence, and this is a curious blend. I got the top off. I'm going topless with a sixpence. I've smoked a decent amount of it. This comes in four layers. I've gotten mostly to the first layer. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm not in love with it, but it's interesting. And I realize that I'm not really a sensitive guy. I don't think, but I'll be damned. Dark Fire Kentucky. I think I'm sensitive. I, it's Dark Fire Kentucky is a delicate balance. If there's none, you want a little bit, but it's almost like salt. But if you have a little too much, it dominates the blend. And for my palate, this rides a I'm going to say this rides a delicate line between maybe just a little too much Dark Fire Kentucky, but it's not egregious by any means. So I find myself kind of wanting to cut it with Bayou Morning just a little bit, just to cut down the Dark Fire Kentucky a little bit. It's a little smoky. Nowhere near HH Dark Fired. I couldn't even smoke HH Dark Fired. I don't think. A lot of people here mention it every once in a while. Every couple months, somebody will say, "Hey, have you ever had HH Dark Fired?" And I did. I bought a tin like 5 years ago. It was rough. It was rough getting through. It wasn't quite jackknife plug rough, but it was pretty close to jackknife plug. I love barbecue. I just don't want to. I don't want to smoke barbecue. Moncloud, I smoked through half of my first tin. I liked it. A solid dark fire Kentucky presence, right? Interesting, but I'm not going deep on this one. I'm going to call you Ganja. Ganja, welcome. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for joining us tonight on a lovely Tuesday night in early October. I'm going to light it up next because to be honest, I haven't really focused on sixpence. I think the reason why is because sixpence, when it came out, it got a lot of fanfare. People went crazy about it, and I kept thinking of the early '90s song Sixpence, or the early '90s band Sixpence None the Richer, that had this song. Um, it was on the 90210 show, or uh, Melrose Place show. And so whenever I saw sixpence on the tin, I thought of that band. I didn't want to be associated with it, so I purposely didn't buy it. I'm heavily affected by marketing, apparently. But I finally got around to it and I liked it. But I still have, like, every time I smoke it, I get this like irk of the early '90s, of early '90s Fox bad TV. ODF, ODF. Orlick Dark Fired is delicious, but it's not something I can smoke often. Ooh, constitutional. I have a tin of Daughters of Ryan SJ in the cellar, but haven't tried it yet. Constitutional, I'm telling you, man. That's if you know. Kiss Me. Thank you, Bud Rums. I was thinking Save Me or something, but it's Kiss Me. Never had Speakeasy, but I did see Speakeasy all over the Richmond Pipe Show. There were tins everywhere. That must be the new hot C&D blend. Again, one thing I'll say about the Daughters and Ryan stuff, you can smoke it all the way to the end, and it's pretty consistent. Produces tons of plume. That's the other thing I like about it. But I'm getting Perique tongue a little bit. It's not tongue bite. No, it's nothing close to that. But that's a lot of Perique, man. That's a lot of Perique. Ah, hooah. Ah, that might be a good breakfast smoke, to be honest. Bud rums. I just smoked Old Ironsides. It was okay for me. Remind me if that's a C&D blend. 'Cause I'm not familiar. It was okay for me. Barely in a nicotine. Gordon PYM was more my style. Not familiar with either of those, to be honest. I'm not sure what those are. Dan Tobacco. Okay, Bud rums. That's, in my opinion, it's hard to go wrong with Dan Tobacco. Given I've only had Patriot Flake and one other one, but just a note on Dan Tobacco for those of you who have had Patriot Flake or if you haven't, Dan Tobacco, I'm going to put it up there. Man, it's in the top three relatively straight Virginias I've ever had. It is. It's not just. It's not that it just tastes great. There's a different quality. It just tastes like somebody really put a lot of attention to it. It just it doesn't seem like it tastes great by happenstance. It seems like it's the supply of Virginias, but it's special. It's very special. Yeah, good with three U's. Have you tried Boswell's Private Flake? No, no, no. I haven't had Boswell's since last year, and I bought Railroad Station, Magnum, and that one you guys all like, Northwoods. Those are the three that I bought. And then I left my Railroad Station in Georgia. I only smoked two bowls of it, so I couldn't even offer an updated opinion about it. But I was so pissed at myself. I was waiting for years to get Railroad Station. I ordered it and then I left it in my Airbnb. So pissed. Still an unsung hero in the Boswell's lineup, in my opinion. Never ordered from Watch City Cigars. Six pissed. I don't like that. All right. Well, it's about six pissed time, to be honest. I'm gonna reach for the Ronaldo Lavat. I'm gonna empty this over the balcony here. Otherwise, I just have to empty my ashtray. Interesting color scheme. Looks like an early 80s movie. This low quality camera is actually not bad. For those of you who have seen the movie Videodrome, it kind of has that Videodrome aspect. Apocalypse Now type of vibe. All right. I'm going to go get a pipe cleaner, and I'll be right back. All right. All right, my dented tin of sixpence. You can see the dent over here. Smells fantastic. But we've all said that many times, and the tobacco didn't turn out the same way that it smelled. But we'll see. All right. Budrums, that's a great question. Is my pipe collection mostly Italian? I have to do the math in my head. The best way I could answer that question is I'll just look at what I have here on the table and think about what's in my bag. Two Ronaldos of a Preti, two Sir Jacopos. So that's five Italians. I'm going to go ahead and say there's a sixth in there, either an additional one or the other. And then, two Boswells. So that's American, obviously. I'm looking around. No Savinellis. No Petersons left now, but I had some. And Ardor, I guess Ardor is Italian. Yeah, I'm probably 60% Italian, I would say, but not by. To be honest, I bought these things without thinking about the country. So it's not that I'm an Italian fan or an Irish fan, but it's all about the pipe for me first, the shape, the feel, the clenchability, and then the country it comes from is kind of secondary. But yeah, I guess I am kind of slightly more than 50% Italian. But my favorite pipe, as I've said many times, was a Peterson spigot. So I would trade all these. I have about 15 pipes left today. I would trade them all for 15 spigots. Maybe two Boswells. I was going to change my channel name from Public Piper to Spigot Piper. But you have to own one to actually claim that name. So it wouldn't make sense. Thank you guys for using the @ symbol. It helps keep track of who's talking to who. It's good practice. All right. Getting into sixpence here. What else is what's everybody smoking? There's at least a couple of you smoking something, probably, or earlier tonight. AZ, I have a 999 spigot, great smoker. I can't visualize it. I don't know if it's a Peterson or not. I'm assuming it is. Bud drums. I like my Peterson spigot. I collect Danish, but Peterson Danish. I forgot about Danish pipes. Never had one. Rustica. Again, give me the manufacturer. I'm a C&D guy, so if it's not a super popular blend, I probably can't place it. Still on my standard mixture. Okay. 4th gen morning blend. That's in English. Probably a light English. McBaron. Okay. I would have guessed that. Rustica is English too, right? It's got to be with a name like that. Just finished a bowl of Presbyterian. I grew up Catholic, so I've seen Presbyterian. The tin art always kind of scared me. It's a little. I hate to say it, it's a little Presbyterian. I was never attracted to the tin art of Presbyterian, and to be honest, I never had it. But I think that's in English too. Is everyone here smoking English? I feel like I'm a loner. Leave the cannoli, take the Danish. Early has smoked a bowl of C&D Balkan again. More English, although that's I can deal with Balkan. In a comically huge Elliot Nachwalder freehand. I can't even visualize what that is. Freehand means it's a little jagged, right, at the top, Mr. Kimba? That's what a freehand means? Geary, welcome. I'm waiting on my Scarecrow to come. C&D Scarecrow. That must be a new blend. I haven't heard of it. Bent Rhodesian. Ah, I have a Rhodesian in there. I forgot about Rhodesians. Mine's a Rigoletto. It's a cheap Rhodesian. Rhodesians are nice. I like Rhodesians. Constantly Virginia. Amphora. Okay. Plateau. Yeah, plateau. Freehand plateau. I forgot those. Those are synonymous. Well, I've met a lot of Latakia fans like you folk. I know how this cold weather brings out the craving, like a vampire, like a bloodlust almost. Portsmouth, welcome. Remind me where Portsmouth is from. I'm thinking it's New England-y sounding. No one ever says I'm from Portsmouth, Alabama. That I do know. That's like saying I'm from Kennebunkport, Mississippi. You can just tell. Oh, Portsmouth, Virginia. Okay, not too far away from me. That's got to be close to Norfolk, I'm assuming. I just smoke richer Virginias in the cold. McLeod, you're my type of man. Exactly. The colder it is, just the bolder of Virginia you want. I can identify with that. Okay, I'm getting into this sixpence. I'm going to change the pinned message here. Smoking Cornell and Deal sixpence right now. I'm about 5 minutes in. Got a little bit of Dark Fire Kentucky in there. I was saying earlier that the last bowl I had, it seemed a little much. This bowl, much better. Balance. I would arguably say very well balanced. It's not quite the Oak Alley complexity I not always get, but usually get from Oak Alley. But I do like the fact I can tell there's two or three things going on here. It's not a monotone blend, although I also like monotone blends like University Flake. But it's good. It's 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 good. I think it's going to take some time to grow on me. It's a little bit of a kitchen sink type of tobacco, though. I think that's what it is. That's what's throwing me for a loop a little bit. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on with sixpence. It has a little bit of an identity crisis, and I'm okay with that. I didn't find myself till I was 27, so I'm going to give this at least 27 minutes. Yeah, there we go, AZ. The sixpence really grew on me. Great with coffee. This is my first, well, this is my first real 8 ounce tin of sixpence. I don't even count the sixpence I bought before because it was a 2 ounce tin. I had 20 tins open and I couldn't really focus on it. I think we got a winner here, and I can tell that already. It's just going to take some time to get used to it. I really try to find some time to have a contemplative smoke offline, obviously. But I get it. I get the attraction toward it. It's not, you know what it is? It's not that dark and brooding blend type that I like. That's like dark and mysterious, understated, kind of a blend that hides away and says, "Come find me, unlock my potential." This one's kind of out there in your face, and it says, "Here's everything I have. It's right there in the charring light. There's no mystery here. Here's everything I got." It's uh, it's that type of blend, which we all need in our rotation. No topping, Geary. This is I don't if I rarely smoke anything topped, and if I do, I'll mention it. Agreed, Mr. Kemba. Agreed. Little Fat Morgan. Sorry, I missed your comment way up above. Welcome, by the way. Doing fantastic. Ashberry is my favorite GLPs. Never bought it. Count. And again, welcome, by the way. Thanks for commenting. Ashberry, Ashberry. Who else here has had Ashberry? That isn't I. What? That doesn't sound familiar. And I'm pretty familiar with most, but not all of the GLP's blends. Either it's out of production or it's new. Otherwise, I would have heard of it. This is getting better, boys. This is getting better. This is two bowls in a row by happenstance. It's kind of opening up toward the mid bowl. It's it is kind of changing. At least tonight it is. I'm getting some stuff I didn't get earlier. Mm, 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 mm. We might have a convert on our hands here. I think I just have to get used to Perique. it's um, it's just not something I normally smoke regularly. Let me dump this out here. Hold on. So I've been watching some old episodes of Frasier. By definition, they're all old. And I realized in all those episodes they were drinking sherry. I never knew what sherry was until like 2 weeks ago. So I went out and bought some sherry. And this is sherry. It's fortified wine. It's a very strange thing. It's not particularly fantastic, but it's interesting. Much like Perique, I think it's an acquired taste. It's an old lady drink in general. That's the generally accepted connotation. But I love the the show Frasier, so I thought I'd go out and buy some. They were sophisticated psychiatrists. A lot of people try to pair cigars with cognac, and I tried that once. Didn't really work for me. But I thought I'd try to pair sherry with a pipe. It's a very strange. It's a very strange drink. But it's interesting. I've had port. This is very different from port. Port's a little sweet for me, but it's not. It's a close cousin of port, I would say. You would not mistake the two, but they're not apples and oranges. Let me catch up on the comments here, you guys. Hold on a second. Mr. Kimba, I love Fillmore myself. I wish I would have bought it, but again, I know I love it, and I wouldn't be testing myself if I bought it again. But I will buy Fillmore again in the near future. Ripple, Count Laticula, any ripple? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Little Fat Morgan, that's a good question. Let me read the back of it for you. It's kind of like a poem, so it's not just telling me what the components are. It doesn't actually say, to be honest. If someone can help us out, can somebody look up Sixpence? And obviously it's Virginia Perique dark fired. I guess my only question is, does it have any burley in it? Because it doesn't say in the back. I don't think. No, it doesn't. You enter the dark paneled room, its walls filled with ancient books. An antique table stands behind a leathered club chair. Upon it, next to a small silver coin, an open tobacco tin entices you with an aroma deep, rich, and authentic. You fill your bowl, which I did. You strike a match. The first puff stops time as the smoky magic weaves its spell. Sixpence. The mystery continues. And it does. Duckman, the episode where Frasier and Niles are in the parking garage. The whole episode is hilarious. Frasier is trying to just drop off Niles and gets charged for less than 30 seconds in the garage. I remember that episode. I always had a hard time with alcohol with pipes and cigars as it distracts from the concentration of smoking. Fillmore's tasty too seems similar to Sixpence. Ooh, I would say no. Fillmore and Sixpence, apples and oranges, very different, in my opinion. Again, I've never smoked them side by side, but very different. I would say with Fillmore, much more subtle. There's not a whole lot going on, but that's not a bad thing. Thank you. in all honesty, Fillmore is a little monotone. It takes a lot of concentration to, maybe not a lot. It takes a medium amount of concentration to really enjoy Fillmore. If you're busy and multitasking, it's going to be like a boring blend. But if you have the time and you can focus on it, it's a highly rewarding tobacco. Unlike this one, where it's so in your face, you don't you don't need to focus on it. And if you did, I think you'd get sensory overload. to be to be completely honest. First of all, that's a good point. There's no mystery here. There's no mystery to sixpence. They tell you this is like the game, the board game Clue from the 1980s. It tells you Professor Plum uh, killed the victim with the pipe wrench in the library. It's like it's right on the surface. There's no mystery. That's a better way to say it, Mr. Fillmore. You don't have to focus on it. You just have to pay attention to it. You don't have to concentrate on it. It just I hate to say it, it's a great old man tobacco, and I'm getting every day I'm getting closer to being an old man, and I love that fact. Although I loved it 5 years ago. Also, red Virginias. Fillmore's a red Virginia blend, and I find that same quality with most, but not all red Virginias. Okay, maybe there's a little mystery here. I'm getting some new notes here mid bowl, roughly. It's transforming a little bit. Sixpence just became sevenpence in my mind. Count Lacula. That's how I feel about standard mixture. I'm assuming. Again, if you can mention the brand for the general audience, that helps out. EMP, early morning pipe. Dunhill, standard Dunhill, early morning. Or no, Peterson early morning. No, Dunhill early morning pipe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Peterson. Peterson, which remakes Dunhill. I always get confused. There's a lot of acquisitions in the pipe world. McLeod, I tried Bijou. I did myself a couple weeks ago. You got the date, July 19th, for the first time tonight. I think the blend was tin shocked. Never heard that phrase. That's an insider phrase. Didn't love it. I thought it was light, by the way. I thought there's a huge rage about Bijou. It was the best thing ever. Best thing since sliced bread. I didn't really care for it, to be honest. Didn't love it like I hoped, but I'll let it breathe for a couple weeks. I don't think it's not gonna get stronger. It's not gonna get deeper, I don't think. I think it's a summertime blend at best, but I don't know. I felt like I was kind of sucking air sometimes, to be honest, with Bijou. I just wanted more, and again, I'm more of a heavy. Uh, I want a lot of body and a big mouth feel, and so I felt Bijou was kind of, well, to McLeod's credit, meh. It just wasn't. It wasn't there, as they say. Much the same way that Sunday Picnic used to be a decent body, enough of a like a heavy hitter for me, and then the last 8 ounce tin I got from Sunday Picnic, which was like a year ago, I felt the same way. I felt Sunday Picnic and my last order of bijou were kind of the same, to be honest. I have, but to be honest, I overbought Shanae's cake. I bought too much of it, and then I had to smoke through the whole all of it. It was not a good time. Tonight at my pipe club, that was a letdown. 4.5 bowls to side. I was telling you my comments before I read the remaining part of your comment, McLeod. So I agree. Shanae's cake on the charring light, it's like, okay, Shanae's cake, this is, it's not meh. It's strong. It's trying to say something, but it's singing a song out of tune. But it is singing a strong song. So it's not that it's nothing. It's just it's an out of tune blend. It's a strange one. It's a strange one. Uh, Count. What do I think about opening night C&D? I've said a couple years ago, many times, that my first experience with opening night was horrible. I think I got a bad 10. I over the years, um, repurchased it a few times. It was much better, but there's a psychology to your first experience with the tobacco that kind of colors you. I think it's probably a fantastic blend, but I'm hesitant to order it again because of that first experience that I had. If somebody had it, I would smoke it right away with no hesitation. But when I'm filling up a cart, there's just something about me that wants to skip past it and not put it in my cart. So that's those are my 2 cents. But I would give it a full recommendation. We can all be turned off by a single bad 10, but if it's your first 10, I think it sticks around your memory much more so than if it was your last 10. Speaking of bijou, I smoked a little My Father Le Bijou Churchill last weekend. One of the best oh, a cigar. Okay. How many sticks are you sitting on, Mr. Kimbo? What do you got? What do you got in the cellar over there? What's your max humidor stick capacity? I guess that's a good question. 20, 40, 60? Yeah, exactly, my Claude. You're not gonna. It's not gonna get better after 15 years. Oak Alley, I say, would could only get better. I still, I was so in love with Oak Alley for so long, and to be honest, I still am. If I had any love affair with any pipe tobacco to date, looking back over probably 7 years of smoking now, roughly seven, when I think about the most consistent blend that I've had and the general experience I've had in each of those smoking sessions, Oak Alley is right up there. Now, given I've had a so-so tin here and there, but I'd always buy 8 ounce tins. So when I have a so-so tin, I have a so-so 8 ounce tin. It comes with the hobby. Um, but yeah, I would say Oak Alley is the one that I would have said Sunday Picnic a couple years ago, but it's been replaced with Oak Alley. There's so much going on with Oak Alley. I would say 4 out of 5 tins you get that I've got were almost identical, and it's such a kaleidoscope of flavors that you can make it work as a breakfast blend. You can make it work as a nightcap. You can make it work for anything. It's it's like the Beatles. They have a song for every occasion, or ABBA. The rat race. Oh, the rat race. I have a big igloo cooler that maxed out, so I'm guessing somewhere in the 300 range. No, 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 no. Oak Alley. Oak Alley. I'm a big fan of rat race, but Oak Alley is my jam. Now, given it's been months since I've had it, but I think that's good. You don't, at least for me, my philosophy, it's more subconscious. I don't actively think about it, but you need a break. If you have a favorite blend, it's sometimes, again, just subconsciously, I don't want to order it all the time because I want to try other stuff and then come back to it, and then try other stuff and come back to it. But it's been probably one of the most satisfying blends I've ever had. And everyone has one of those. It's actually, I guess I shouldn't say everybody. You're lucky if you do find one of those that sticks around for a few years. I don't, I've never had any blend stick around for more than a couple years. So even Oak Alley is probably about 4 years for me. A good experience 4 years in a row. It could all go south the next time I get it, but it's been a fantastic ride. I felt like I'm getting a little philosophical here, but I felt like I went on a journey with Oak Alley. It's the blend that's lasted me the longest time consistently. Bayou Morning would be up there too, in terms of consistency over the longest period of time. Never had a tin of Bayou Morning that I chucked. Never had Rustica, Fat Morgan. Ooh, AZ, working through some Brown Clooney. I like that rat raise a lot. Yeah, I used to love it myself. Brown Clooney was one of my favorites. One of my oldest videos was about Brown Clooney. I bought Marlin Flake last year as well. Had some mixed feelings at the beginning. I thought it was Marlin Flake was very light when I first opened it. I don't know why, but I let it sit around for a couple days, opened, and then it got some body. What is it about Oak Alley that you like? I wonder if I got a bad tin because it was eh. Unfortunately, it was my first. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So, like you mentioned, I'm hesitant to grab another tin. Uh, Duckman, did you get a 2 ounce tin? Hopefully, not an 8 ounce tin like I buy. And I'll comment on your question. What is it that I liked? What is it that I liked? Well, the easiest thing to say is it's dark. It's dark, and there's a lot of red Virginia in there, and it doesn't always pop with flavor. The phrase "pop with flavor" is probably a little overstated. Nothing ever pops in your mouth like pop rocks, but it seemed like a smoldering type of blend that was just. I'm going to steal the word from the Sixpence. This said the word mystery. There's no mystery here, or very little. When I think of mystery, I think of what Mr. Kimball was talking about. I think of Fillmore by GOPs, and I think of Oak Alley. And by mystery, I mean transition, a transition in the bowl. Again, you can't be multitasking to pick up on this transition, but when I smoked Oak Alley, at least half the time, if I'm not multitasking or if I'm very relaxed, I feel like the blend is changing within the bowl, even if minutely. It's not just getting duller through the bowl, which most blends do, which is fine. Blends do that. But I felt like the red Virginias are taking over in this toke, and then the Burley's taking over in that toke. It was just adventurous, eh, but kind of a languid adventure, a very slow adventure, not like an exciting adventure. So I equate that to the word mysterious, kind of like a story that's unfolding in your pipe as you're smoking it. But again, a very subtle story, a very, very subtle story. Tin shocked. I'm not even sure what tin shocked means. Is that even a real phrase? Are you guys making this up? I'll give it one more shot. Order one more 2 ounce tin. Wait, if it's been a month or two, the supply from the farms has changed, and so you're guaranteed to get some kind of different experience. Also, open it up and just let it air dry out. Not because it's wet, but just oxygen can kind of. You don't have to let it age. So here's my view. People buy tobaccos and let it age, but it's airtight. It takes so long to change anything in the tin because it's relatively airtight. Just crack it open, give it 30 seconds of air, or a day, seal it back, come back to it a week later. It's going to be a little bit different, minimum, to a certain extent, but also Oak Alley is pressed into that plug. It's really going to change the outside more so than the inside. Mr. Kimba, the answer to your question is yes, it does. It does. That should be obvious. McLeod, I had a little birdie tell me that Boswell's private stock is Sutliff, Virginia slices plus Perique just mixed up a house. It's supposed to be a good marriage. Quite possible. Still smoking sixpence, boys. About half a bowl in here. It rides that fine line. I'm okay with it. It's just enough to make it interesting. A lot of Perique in here, though. It's a hell of a lot of Perique. And actually, this is a great experience for me because I smoked a lot of Perique tonight, and it's always good to change the things you're smoking. But I think this reminds me that I think I think I'm more of a burley smoker. There's something about burley. I don't need the. I like a nose burn, but I think I prefer a burley nose burn than a Perique nose burn. And it just kind of hit me right now that I think that's what I prefer. There's a big difference. I always say that half the flavor in a pipe is the retrohale, but you get different things from retrohale from different blends. I like Perique, so that would be hard to use too much. Ooh, Ganjuana, give me an example. You said I wanted to love Burleys, but they don't like me. Name out maybe two. You never smoke whole Burley, obviously, but name out two blends that you smoked that didn't agree with you. Burley blends. The funny thing about Cloud is they don't publish what the percentage is. You just kind of have to guess. I mean, there's a couple C&D blends that say 25% Perique, but most blends don't tell you what the percentage is. Burley eat your tongue? That's I've never heard that before. Burley is pretty, in my opinion. There's a lot of things bad to say about Burley, so I'm not going to defend it universally. But Burley is not commonly thought of or known to give you tongue bite. That's more bright Virginia or young Virginia. Oh, oh. Okay, okay. Um, well, don't buy on a bookshop and no JK for Christ's sake. That's not what I would call a gentle introduction to Burley. Not not at all. You skipped second grade and went right to college. You need to find some moderate Burley blends. And don't buy OTC for Christ. You did. Look, who's your teacher? Who told you to go buy OTC and then own a bookshop? Those are opposite ends of the spectrum, both in a bad way, actually. You need to shoot for the middle. Go the Buddhist way, ganja. No, there's so many Burleys out there in the C and D lineup. You can stay within the C and D universe. You could throw a dart at a board and get a C and D blend that probably has Burley in it. That's not on a bookshop. Somebody throw this guy a bone. Let's help him out. I can't recall anything offhand that would be a good recommendation, but you guys could. Agreed, Mr. Kimba. That's a good point. But I can smoke Virginia's 10 bowls a day, but not Burley. This is very strange for me. I have to say, I like a good vape for Burley. I've been smoking some Briar Fox. Briar Fox has a little Burley in it, I believe. Possibly not, but I thought it did. Briar Fox is kind of a kitchen sink blend, from what I recall. Mm. The Count has a great recommendation. There are 5 C&D Burley Flakes. Burley Flake number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ganja, order order 3 or 4. Stay away from 1 and 2. The lower the number, the rougher it is. 3, 4, and 5. Five, I think 5 has Latakia in it, so I'd stay away from that. Me personally, 3 or 4. I would say 3 or 4. A good place to start, in all honesty. 3 Friars. There you go, Az. I'll go with 2. I'll go with your. You can go with 2. Just stay away from 1. One is a little vinegary. Burley Flake number 1 is some. I'm not gonna say it's rough, but it's challenging. So Burley Flake 2, 3, or 4. Any of those is a good introduction to ganja. Mm. I always hate to lose a soldier. Well, we lost our Burley brothers tonight. We lost a Burley brother to old Joe Krantz and Hana Bookshop. The 2 most challenging Burley blends in the entire C&D lineup, and he started with those. I disagree, Ganja. Well, first of all, they always mix it. It's never 100% Burley. They always mix a little Virginia in there. Matches A60 made a great video many years ago. It was a real deep video because it's one of my favorite videos. I've seen it a dozen times, and he said that he discovered in his pipe journey or pipe smoking journey that Burley needs a little Virginia to unlock its potential. You can't just smoke straight Burley. It's not good. So even when you're buying something that says Burley Flake, it still has some Virginia in it because they learned this lesson a long time ago. Even McBaron Golden Extra. Seneca, welcome. I haven't seen that name here before. Where are you from? Golden Extra sounds good. Never tried it though. It is good. I would say McBaron Golden Extra is one of my favorites. I've had about 80% good luck with it, depending on the tin that I bought. I bought about a pound, to be honest. I bought 3 pounds of Golden Extra. I held on to it for 3 years. Galworth and Hogarth flakes are mostly Weber's, and they're fantastic. Mm. The Bay Area, okay. I went up to Richmond, Virginia last weekend. I met a friend up there, and that's still in the heart of tobacco country. Something interesting was we went to many outdoor patio bars, breweries, a lot of breweries up there with outdoor patios. We lit up pipes, and surprisingly, even though we're still in tobacco country, within about 15 to 20 minutes, we were told we can't smoke outside. And these are not restaurants; they don't serve food. Very strange. Luckily, I live in North Carolina, and this is probably the quote unquote best state that you'll almost never hear that. You can pretty much smoke uh, outdoors in a seat, not standing, in most bars and cafes. I didn't choose this state for that, but it happens to be a win-win scenario. Oh, Best Brown. I do remember that. That was a fantastic blend. All right, boys, it's getting late. This was an extremely good blend, or extremely good bowl of sixpence. I'm a growing fan. I need to call it a night, but I want to thank you for joining me. Great discussion. Thanks for everyone chiming in. Do me a favor, if you can hit the notification button, if you want to catch the next one of these, because I don't announce them ahead of time, you can join me next time. We can have a good discussion then. Until next time, have a great night. Take care.